you are, Blanche. You are.
Stuck in this house.
Welcome, your host, Jennie McNulty!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Your House. I am comedian Jennie McNulty, host of the InHouse Comedy Chat. More than a talk show, we are energizing your mind, body, and spirit. My guest today is Andrea Meyerson, who has been energizing the spirits of lesbians for the last 25 years with her Women on a Roll, various productions and films, and we're going to hear all about Andrea. And don't forget to stick around after our chat with Andrea. We're going to take a walk on the beach. That's right, we are. We're going to leave Cher's lovely guest house and walk right down the stairs. They're right over there. Cher's down there now. Hi, Cher. Oh, it's wonderful. Anyway, we're going to go down there and take a walk on the beach, and you're going to join me. And while we're there, I'm going to tell you about meat you should eat. What? Crazy, I know. You stick around for that. Okay, but first, my thoughts. Debate fly's back in the news. I just love saying debate fly. Apparently, Mike Pence said he did not know that the flag was there. In fact, what he said was, I didn't know he was there. Even the flies have to be male if mother's not around. I believe him though. He didn't know AIDS was in Indiana. He didn't know COVID was in the country. He didn't know how he got that boner when the shirtless guy walked by. He doesn't know a lot of stuff. Speaking of Christians, Amy Coney Barrett is barreling toward her confirmation hearing. Perhaps you guys have been following it, I'm not sure, but apparently today she brought a bunch of friends with her. Sheila, go ahead, show them the audience. We are doomed, y'all. We are just doomed. Oh my goodness. So, keep your fingers crossed. What can we say? And finally, an 11-year-old boy in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, managed to somehow get the keys to a school bus and then proceed to take people on a 13-mile chase. That's right, an 11-year-old drove for 13 miles. People that he was passing by said he was laughing and giggling in the front seat. He eventually crashed it into a tree. Don't worry, the kid is fine. He's been arrested and all, but how bad do you have to suck at homeschooling that your kid is willing to steal a bus to try to go to school? Get me out of here, my parents are idiots. My guest today actually stole a bus for one of her travel trips. That may not be true, I don't know, but it was fun to say. Andrea Meyerson she really knows how to get things done. She is a mover and a shaker. She is an award-winning filmmaker. She is an event producer that was producing events, huge monster events all over the country that she's now brought to the net. You can't take a little COVID, it's not gonna hold her down, no siree. She is also an organizer of women's travel events, and you may not know this, but she is part of a very successfully touring Blues Brothers tribute band, the Pink Brothers. Here's a little bit of Andrea Meyerson and the Pink Brothers. Ladies and gentlemen, Andrea Meyerson. That was amazing. It was amazing. You guys, you know, it's such a shame you had to cancel your tour because of COVID.
We were doing so well. We were filling the largest venues you could imagine. Just crazy.
So you are currently in New York City, correct?
I am with my wife. It's fabulous. Yes.
Oh, wonderful. How long have you guys been together? There. I mean, not together in general, but how long have you been together this trip?
God, a week and a half. I'm here till Monday. So it'll be a full 2 week stay by the time I leave. And it was lovely.
Oh, that's
We're
lovely.
already talking about when I'm going to come back. I had to wait till they lifted the quarantine here, you know, because I can't be here and just be inside for 2 weeks. But that's lifted, and it's, you know, a lot of social distancing. Everybody's masking here, and it's great. Yeah, I'm so happy to be here with her.
That's wonderful. I'm sure that you're happy to be there with her, but you have got to be thoroughly bummed that we are not currently in Provincetown, Massachusetts, where we would both be and where we both have been for the last several years. Ugh, how bummed are you about Women's Week?
In my 23rd year taking Women on a Roll. Yeah, I'm sad we're not there. Yeah, it's everybody is. You know, everybody is. We're doing all the virtual events that I possibly can squeeze in 1 week, and people are coming. They're like, "Well, thank you for giving us a little piece of Provincetown, a little piece of Women's Week."
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I was going to get to that. Tell people exactly. You've basically taken all of the acts that are in Ptown that we would normally be seeing, that you would normally be taking your women to these different shows, and you're doing them on your Women on a Net. So tell them a little bit about Women on a Net is for people that don't know and haven't seen you before or don't know what your group is. Tell them Women on a Roll started as this bicycle group, and then you do all these things with it. But now, because you can't go anywhere, tell us about the net.
Right. Okay. So as a lot of people know, Women on a Roll has been around. August, we celebrated our 25th anniversary. Had to cancel the big gala and do it virtually. But that was great. You were there. A lot of people were there. It was fabulous. And so we had just finished, Women on a Roll had just returned from a trip to Thailand. Amazing. We got in and out of Thailand. I love that we all have shirts that say Thailand 2020. Because like we got there and back just in time. And of course, a week after we got back, we all, you know, went on, you know, safer at home. And then everything else I had planned for the year had to cancel, including a trip to Italy, a trip to New Orleans. I mean, I really chose when I told women I'm going to take you to the hot spots of the world, I really, not what I meant. It was, so we were the hottest spot. So anyway, everything's postponed. We're doing Italy in 2022 now. So my tour partners, my travel partners have been great. So then I had to cancel. I had a Brandy Carlisle concert booked for May, and I had our 25th anniversary, like all my events had to get canceled. And I, you know, spent a day kind of really like depressed, like, oh my God, what the hell? And then I just had this idea. I had heard of Zoom. Nobody was Zooming yet. It was like, I had heard of Zoom, and I thought, what if I do like gatherings on Zoom? And I called a guy that helps me with my tech stuff. I said, will you create a Zoom account for me? I heard of it. He did. And I said, I want to do gatherings. He goes, great idea. So then I went on a webinar, learned how to do it, and we launched it. And that was in like mid-March, like really pretty much right out the gate. And we just started doing events. Well, you know, I asked you to come, and Suzanne and Karen, like all my, you know, all the celesbians. And we started doing social events. And here I am. Like, I thought, okay, I'll do it for a couple months for free. We'll do it. We'll just offer it, keep our community connected and entertained. And then it was 3 months, and then 4 months, and then 5 months. And here we are 6 months later. So we're still doing it. And I'm offering about 25 unique events a month right now. It's insane. So, for Women's Week, we, you know, when we couldn't go, because that got canceled too, I just thought I'm going to do a virtual Women's Week in Provincetown. And Lynette Molnar called me and she said, are you doing anything? I said, yeah. So we talked a little bit. And I put in as much talent as I could. I couldn't book everybody, but I tried to, we had every night, starting Saturday, really Friday, and then Saturday. Saturdays we have 2 events, and Sunday, and then every night there's somebody. And of course, Friday, tonight we have Vicky Shaw. Tomorrow we have Lisa Koch, and then Friday we have these 2 guys. I'm gonna let 2 dudes in the room, and their names are Dirty. Because we've already been doing it, which has been so much fun. It's really. And because it's virtual, I encourage everybody to come dressed in drag, even if you don't perform. And they do, like half the room does. And now we're spotlighting them. We're giving prizes out. Want to see the prizes you can win this time?
Yeah, we got prizes this time. Woo-hoo.
I always do. I always mail out prizes. They're sanitized and shipped directly to your door. So show up and be ready. So this is a special edition of masks for that you will be winning if you win.
Oh, cool! Little Halloween masks.
So this is a
Perfect.
prize. I have several of these I'm giving out. Who does? And then after Halloween, guess what? It doesn't go to waste. It's reversible. And then I don't have the people version of this, but Molly's going to model what the dudes can win, but it's people size. So she's willing to be model. I didn't bring a people size one, but she's willing to see, so you can win that, but it would be a full size one that you can wear.
And it is super fun, you guys, and it's super easy. You don't even really have to, get dressed. First of all, you only have to dress from the waist up. Second of all, it's just fun and silly. And I can tell you from the years and years and years that Mimi and I did the show, everybody always that are tempted, oh, should I? They see it and they're like, I should have done it, because no one takes it that seriously, but then they have fun with it. It's just a really silly, goofy, put yourself in drag, slap on a mustache, and come read a poem, do some lip syncing. It'll be fun. But I want to talk to you because it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, Andrea. You and I did a walk a week before your surgery. You were diagnosed with breast cancer 4 years ago, almost to the day 4 years ago. Right. And I took a walk with you, and we chatted a little bit a week before your surgery. So here's just a quick clip of one of the things that we talked about. And you just keep in mind this was supposed to be a series of 3 different walks, but we never got around to the other walks. But here is the first walk.
I love my doctor because in the same way she told me that I had cancer, she told me it was treatable. Yeah. And I decided in that moment, I'm going to focus on it's treatable. Right. And that's all I've been doing. So I feel blessed because it is so common and people forget it. And I feel so blessed that what I have is curable, and it's a big, huge bump in the road that I'm trying to, grasp what the next couple months are going to look like.
So that was you a week before surgery. Did you keep that focus that I'm just focusing on the treatableness than the curable, or how did that go for you emotionally?
Yeah, it was. I found a lot of humor in it. I felt like I laughed my way through cancer. My wife and I both did. She came out, she stayed with me for a couple months. And as we're long distance, so that was like, she just came and planted herself, and she was truly my rock. And it was, it affects so many women. And that's why I'm grateful. I was diagnosed, I found out when I was in Ptown. We had just landed. I had 30 women on the plane. Just landed. My doctor calls and says, can you come in to talk about your results? And I go, no, I just landed in Boston on my way from. I said, just tell me. She goes, do you want to have this conversation on the phone? I said, absolutely. And that's when she said, you have cancer and it's curable, in the same breath. And of course, I was shaky and everything, and I had to get to the phone to call my wife. And but I did find a lot of love and support. It's amazing how many survivors there are out there. And now I don't ever do a trip without saying, where are my survivor sisters? Because
you mentioned that later on in the interview, you talk about the you were looking forward to leaning on I believe the amazing sisterhood of survivors was how you put that. Did you lean on them? And
I would say
how have people been leaning on you now?
Even if I didn't want to lean on them, they're just there for you, and that's just kind of what happens. And I had decided to go public with it because I had to cancel everything the rest of the year. I came back from, they don't want to wait once they find it. It's like scheduled. So I was in the hospital over Thanksgiving, and I had to cancel all the events I had planned from November all the way through January. And so I had to go public with it because I didn't want to seem like a flake, like, oh, I know I promised you these events, but I'm not going to do it. I went public, and that was the best thing I could have done, because even now people remember that, and especially the first year, people were reaching out to me that were just getting their diagnosis. And I'm glad, and like I'm always there, you know, that's what we do, because I mean, recently I had a friend diagnosed and her wife called me up crying. When somebody tells me their process and I'm going back and I'm going, like, you kind of know now when they're going to get most likely that result, right? I know it now. They don't know it and I don't tell them, but I know when they're telling me this doctor's appointment, and I know. So a very good friend of mine, her wife called me up crying right after she had just gotten her diagnosis. And I said, it's curable, listen to me, it's curable. I went over that night with a bottle of wine and dinner, and the three of us sat and talked, and I showed them mine, because I don't mind showing mine, because I did get reconstructive surgery, that's a personal choice. And I'm not attached to him anymore. And, you know, basically you just see scars and I just want to show people, like, I'm living here, I'm living proof. It's curable, and that's just, please focus on that, because, so I do that whenever I can, and I've gotten a lot of phone calls from people, and if they email me, I say, give me your phone number, let's talk. And yeah, I feel like sometimes you're chosen because it could make a difference, you know? I don't know. I listen, yeah. A lot of women are chosen. Unfortunately, it's a huge problem. So
yeah,
it really.
If you're just joining us, I'm comedian Jennie McNulty. This is a filmmaker, travel organizer, event producer, Andrea Meyerson, and this is the InHouse Comedy Show. We're talking about breast cancer because it's so darn funny. But here is a walk again, and we took a walk about 4 years ago, a week before your surgery, and I asked you then if your diagnosis had changed you, and this was your response then, a week before surgery.
Changed you in any way, do you think? That's a good question. Well, you just never think you're going to be the one.
Yeah.
So, I can't say it's changed me yet. Other than it's just giving me another vision of something that I'm supposed to do in this life, and that's to make it better for other breast cancer victims when I'm on the other side. That's why I'm making a movie.
On the other side of your recovery, you're
yes.
talking about, okay.
On the other side.
Talking from the great beyond other side. All right, good, good. So, Andrea, now 4 years out, you survived the surgery, you're surviving, you're still cancer-free. How has it changed you now? Would you still say it hasn't really changed you that much?
No, I think that, listen, I've always been one that has never taken the precious gift of life for granted. But it definitely reaffirms that, because you definitely know when you hear anything that has to do with cancer, you can't help but go there for a minute, because not everybody is lucky enough to survive it. But so I've never taken that for granted, but it's probably, it's even stronger. My love and my appreciation of life is probably greater than it was, who I wouldn't have thought it could have been, because I really have been one that just loves this ride called life. Love it. So I'm really grateful. I'm so grateful of being able to call myself a survivor, and really affirmed the strong love that my wife has for me and I have for her. I mean, she truly was my rock. And I will say this, she is my rock. She was my rock. Listen, I was diagnosed with breast cancer and she was my rock. She had a little bout with COVID and she was my rock. I mean, I got very upset when I found it. She's fine now. I want to tell you, everybody, she's fine. She had the strain where she lost her sense of taste and smell. This is early on. She's completely in the clear, but I feel so lucky that my wife is in my life. Like, I don't know how much harder it would have been without her. And I'm very close to my sister, She came for a while too. So, and my friends, like the love, the outpour of love, you know, so all the gratitude I felt before has been heightened. Like the love I have for life, the love I have for my wife, the love I have for my sister and my friends. It's so much greater because everybody was just loving me and there for me and, you know, supportive. So I will always be for everybody. Like, you know, I love that people I don't love that people get diagnosed, but I love that they think of me to call me, because I really do think that I can be a source of light and hope and positive healing for them. Yeah.
I agree, Andrea. You really do bring a lot. I mean, you've been doing it for years now. It started as a fun way for you to meet people in your bicycle group, you know, just morphed into this amazing way of keeping us all connected. And I'm sure you are a light for folks. Quickly, you mentioned it early on. Your trips. You can't do trips now, or do you have some that are still maybe going to happen, or what's the deal? What's the deal with your travel?
Yeah, we rescheduled Italy for 2022, so that's fine. We are planning. We have I chartered a Rhine River, a riverboat, 80-room riverboat, 5-star, beautiful riverboat cruising from Switzerland to Amsterdam, landing in Amsterdam for Gay Pride, and this is going in July 2021, the very end. Their Amsterdam Pride is the first week in August, and we're planning on running it only if it's safe, of course. It's all I pulled it off without, of course you're not going to promote, hey, let's go traveling. But we are still getting bookings for it, and it's close to a sellout. I think we have, the last I checked, there was 12 or 13 rooms left out of the 83 rooms. So so we're planning on it, but I've assured everybody who's going, and if anybody decides to book, if we can't run it, if we're not there yet, ready for European travel, it will be transferred to a date when we can go. And it will be decided if we go for Amsterdam Pride in 2022, or if we just do Amsterdam, go before that, so we don't have to wait a full year and just go enjoy everything Amsterdam has to offer. I mean, Amsterdam's kind of always Pride. It's pretty wild. I've been before. So anyway,
yeah.
Yes.
It is kind of almost.
Yeah. I'm sorry, what?
Excellent. Well, I look forward to that. Boy, I sure hope you're able to do your cruise, and one of these days, I really hope you can start doing your events, because I miss being out there myself. I miss seeing all the, you know, it was fun putting the clips. I'm going to show clips of the dragon in a minute, and it was so much fun, because there was, like, at the end, when the camera kept going, everybody was just kind of humming just around, and I just miss all of that camaraderie and all that fun.
You're
what?
Sorry.
We're gonna show a clip for the dragon and give you your thoughts on what you plan for this weekend for your act. Are you going to be able to do the Pink Brothers?
No, because my Dan the man is in LA. I already tried to talk my wife into doing some with me. I do have quite the attire, though. I did take care of that. I don't know. It's so funny. I was in the shower this morning thinking about what I'm going to do. I might do something. Remember what I did last month? I love Wicked Boys. I love that. But the best last month was our co-host and her wife. They did Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy. Wasn't that a great routine? We're going to show the video.
That was good.
Yeah. So.
Oh, cool. Excellent. It's really super fun. So please do think about joining us 5 o'clock this Friday night, 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern. Go to womenonthenet.net.
Yes.
The
That's
nets
right.
are the same. So what do you do, Andrea Meyerson, when you need, you're perky, you bring light to people, you bring joy to people, but when, as all of us do, you're feeling a little down in the dumps, what do you do to stay positive, Andrea?
Well, I'm lucky that I don't get down really very much, and when I do, so I like writing. I do a lot of writing. I've written a couple songs that we have put to music that we're trying to shop right now that I think are really great. I've written a lot. I do a lot of writing, and so that is it's been an outlet for me to do writing. And listen, I'm going to say one of the things that has kept me sane is Women on the Net. Here's the silver lining of it all. Maybe we could just, end it on that note. But I've had these women on my mailing list for 20 years, 15 years, 25 years, some of them. And because it's a national mailing list, unless they travel with me or unless they come and say hi in Ptown or something, I don't know them. I've got to know so many wonderful women on Women on the Net that live in Florida or Ohio or Texas or Toronto or all over the world, and for sure all over the country and even all over the world. And I've known them, their names, but now I really know them. Like, we know each other. This is friendship bond that has formed on Zoom. Like, it's like, and everybody, it's not just me. There's a lot of women that, hey, Jean, I like what you're wearing tonight. Hey, Margaret, like they're all talking. They've never met in person, but we're all friends now after 6 months of hanging out, and new people. So please, if you're new, we welcome. We always give our newbies time, so we meet you, and everybody welcomes you, and you too, and become part of this network of women that are just hanging out on Zoom, doing all sorts of fun things and cultural things and crazy things, and being entertained by people like you, Jenny. So it's, and I have to say, I really shout out to all of our lesbians, all the lesbian performers who showed up for the community. Show up everywhere. Like, it's really you. It's people like you and what Sheila's doing to help you do this. And all the performers, what you've given our community during this time when we really need that connection and we really need to laugh and be entertained or sing or whatever. Thank you, Jenny, and thank you, Sheila. Thank you for doing what you do as well. So what do you do when you get depressed?
I go for either a bike ride or a walk or something. For me, it's physical. I have to get out and do something, just get out of my head, because my head will spin. So I just get out and do physical things for me. So it's usually either a ride or a walk. And if I had a punching bag, I'd probably use that lately.
You walk on the beach a lot. I know that.
Yeah, that. I love to walk on the beach. That's very calming. You get all that nice ocean. Oh, you mean that? The green screen beach. That too. I do. It's really real, Andrea. I bring it. I'm going to go get it right now, as a matter of fact. I'm going to show a clip of the dragon, and then I'm going to go drag the Pacific Ocean out to the audience here. Thanks so much for all you do, Andrea. Thanks for being my guest today. Thanks for being an awesome 4-year survivor and keeping it real out there for everyone that's going through that.
Early detection. Early detection. Go get if you haven't had a mammogram lately, go get it. Early detection. That's what got it for me.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Can't think of better words to end on. Thanks so much, Andrea Meyerson. And for those of you at home, get your shoes on. We're going to go take a walk on that beach. And here is what you would be seeing at the Dragon if you were there in Provincetown this week. Thanks, Andrea. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Say it. Water? No! Say it like that. Say it again. Water. They put ours where there are no ours. That's what I meant to say.
You said arse. I heard it. You said arse.
I love arse. We can put arse.
You love arse? Do you really? You're an arse man?
And I am an arse man.
Yeah, I'm a rack man. Yeah.
I can understand that.
Not
you want what you don't have.
Oh. The next performer coming up on the stage would be, please welcome to the stage, Pacemaker and Nitroglycerin.
I don't get gone. And shut my mouth, slap your grandma. They're all gonna be alone. It's a sheriff on the phone. Lord have mercy, how she even get the birthdays on. That donkey's on.
That was, as I'm sure you know, Vicky Shaw and Jessica Kirson. All right, you guys ready to take that walk on the beach? Come on, get up, get off your chair, get off the couch, get out of bed. Let's go, let's do this. Let's get some activity, let's get some motion, let's make your head feel better. And do check out the Dragon. Even if you don't feel like getting dressed up and doing it, it's silly fun to watch, and it's a really, really good time. So make sure you check that out at womenonanet.net. Thank you, Andrea. And I told you in the beginning that I was going to tell you about meat to eat. You're like, what? Aren't you the plant-based gay? Yes, I am. I'm your plant-based gay, but I'm telling you there's kind of meat that you might want to consider eating in the future if you just can't give up meat. And it's not ready yet, but it's called clean meat. It's also called cultured meat. Some people call it lab meat or Franken meat, but what it is actual meat. They take a biopsy from a cow or a chicken or what have you. They take some cells out of the animal, and they harvest the cells. They harvest what would become muscle cells, like they get the stem cells. Then they can put things, they put it in like a growth medium. Because think about it, how does a cow go from a tiny baby calf to a 1,400-pound animal that usually, how does it get that big that you're gonna eat or drink, get milk from or whatever? It eats food. It breaks the food down in its stomach, the nutrients go into the bloodstream, the muscle cells grab those nutrients out of the bloodstream, and the muscles get bigger, and an animal walks around, and the muscles get bigger and bigger, and he grows. That's how it works in the body. Well, they've been able to take that process and do it inside of a lab. So they get those same cells. They get the stem cells that will one day differentiate into muscle cells, and they feed them. They give them the same nutrients that they would receive in the bloodstream of the animal. They put it in a serum, and they've been able to actually grow meat. Now, the first hamburger was created in 2013. It was cost $330,000, so it's a little expensive, but it's come down. It's actually down to, I think, $1,000 or a couple $100 per pound of the stuff. But once they get the funding, it's going to come down. Now, it's real meat. It's not cloning. You're not making an entire cow. You're not making an entire chicken. You're literally just taking the cells and making those cells, differentiating them into those meat cells and making them grow and proliferate to the point where you can make the meat with them. It's not cloning. And as again, it started in 2013. They've been doing it now. They're waiting on regulations. And it's something we really need to think about, because in 2050, when there are 10 billion people on the planet, there's a guy up at Stanford that has done all the graphing and the numbering and the figuring. We are going to run out of fresh seafood. So there's a group called Finless Foods that's making it. Again, in 2016, there were 4 companies that were doing this kind of cultured meat. Now there are over 30 of them. So it's happening. It's going to happen. It's something that you might want to check into, think about. And you know it's going to happen for a couple reasons. Over 20 states have passed legislation that says this stuff is not allowed to use the phrase meat. Tyson Meats, the one that they've invested in the technology, they invested money into Memphis Meats. They're one of the minority holders in Memphis Meats, and they've also invested into another tech company producing this kind of meat. And what Tyson also did is invest in Beyond Burger. You know, the Beyond Burger, the ones that are made out of plant-based stuff? Tyson invested in that. And when they saw the sales go through the roof, Tyson pulled out their investment, and Tyson is now making their own plant-based meat. These companies, our meat companies, are seeing that we cannot continue this way. We can't continue to feed the people. We can't continue to house all these animals. We just can't. By 2050, when there's 10 billion people, we are going to run out of land and food. We've got to come up with a different answer. So this is something that may be in the future. Would I try it? I would probably try it just to see the taste of it, and I think it's kind of cool. It is still meat, though, so if you've got like heart issues, it's still going to have cholesterol. Unless they can figure out a way to get that out of there, it's going to have cholesterol, but it's not going to have hormones. It's not going to have all the nasty things that you find in that meat. So it is a wave of the future, perhaps. So I just thought you guys might find that interesting. Did you get to see? Look at you, were just mesmerized, weren't you? And you didn't even realize we just walked for 5 minutes. Now keep going. Go out of the house and go around the block. Get a nice brisk walk in. 15 to 20 minutes a day is good for the heart. It's good for the head. I want to thank Andrea Meyerson for being her awesome, wonderful self. I want to thank Sheila for making me look good, directing and producing, making all the bells and whistles work on the show. And of course, I want to thank you. This Friday coming up, we've got Tracy Gilchrist, who used to be with Tilo Films and was with After Ellen, is now the managing editor of The Advocate magazine. So she's got some really amazing stories to tell us on Friday, so don't forget to check us out on Friday. And again, thank you guys. Thank you so much for walking and watching and being awesome. Thank you so much. Stay safe and tune in one day. One day, that's 1 o'clock and someday altogether. I don't know. Tune in Friday at 1 p.m. Cyber see me then, y'all. Bye.